Yeah, good evening. Can you hear my voice? So, except Dinesh, Murali Krishna, Adinarayana, Priyanka. One QH, two QH, only two QHs. Wait, we'll wait couple of seconds.
This meeting is being recorded.
So, online, please look at my message from the chat box. May I know how many of you are currently working in IT? Just give the response from the chat box, yes or no. Adinarayana. Okay. May I know your role? Adinarayana. QA engineer. Mean functional or performance or security with automation or without automation?
I started my career as automation like 3 years back. Later, I switched into API. Now, currently
API.
working. Yeah.
Rest assured or Postman?
Yes. Rest assured. Like we collect API manually in Postman. Once the collection is fine, like it's working manually, then we use rest
Excellent. I
assured.
think so. These are video or these are discussions will help you rest of the teams. So I may ask some questions to Adinarayana, who currently is working. May I know how many years?
Yeah. From API, I'm working on last 1 year. Automation previously it was 2 years. Total, I have 4.5 years experience in KI.
Excellent. So I think so you are understanding my voice
Yeah.
technically, right? Yes. So who is trying to leave the meeting? All right. So let me share the screen. You go for mute Adinarayana and I will ask a couple of confirmations from your end. So
Sure.
online buddies and offline buddies. Actually, just now when I came to the second floor, a few of guys is speaking. They are attended an interview and some kind of technical question they asked in the interview rooms in terms of process. They are maybe the third round or maybe final round of HR manager or QA manager or we don't know whether it's a testing or development, whatever it is. First thing is when you come to the IT as a professional, irrespective of stream, whether you are developer or test engineer or data engineer, devops engineers, doesn't matter. You have some dress. Dress in the sense vocabulary dress actually. Vocabulary. Vocabulary in the sense of process. Vocabulary is nothing but process. Everyone should know that process actually. If you don't know that process, they can't believe you are working professional. If you keep your experience, the first thing is they can't assume, right? So multiple times I said the decision factor in interview is not simply giving answers to the technical question. Sometimes judgments, judgments based on our vocabulary. So today I felt knowing vocabulary is again more essential for the DevOps engineers. That's why we are explaining the commands and servers and operating system. Technically, I'm just giving a round. Okay. So do one thing. You Go to a last pages of your note. Don't include it actually. Hmm? You create a separate page, note down each and every point, and keep it into your memory, like mind or document. Always refer it. So such terms are very useful. Like if you are working in factory, they'll speak factory related terms, right? If you are in office as IT engineer, they will speak their own terms, right? Hmm? So terms, process, life cycles, teams. So I'm giving clear things to you. You please note it down. Hmm? Let us start. Mr. Adinarayana, you please try to help me out. Help me in the sense, share your experience when I asking a question to you. Okay?
Sure, I'll try my level best.
Yes. And please note it down, everyone. Maybe if you feel accept Narayana, maybe if he also, sometimes he may not understand my voice. Okay. So let me give like DevOps. So you just keep it aside. Okay. Okay. First one is generally as a DevOps engineer, you
I
should
think
work
screen is
for,
not sharing.
yeah, let me share it. Please note it down as a beginner. If you're already aware of, just put into dustbin. Dustbin in the sense, just ignore it. As a company or as a team or as a professional, you need to working on two areas. One is a project and product. Very simple. Project and product. Project is different. Product is different. Project in the sense you work for the specific client. They approach your company. If you are a big companies, even companies will try to interact with the clients, and we can work for the specific project requirement. Got it? Clear? The product is nothing but every company build their own projects, build their own projects, and they hand over the projects in the live environment. It means project is always deals with a specific client, and the product is always deals with billions of common needs, right? The project specific need, product like a common need. Here in the project, in the project, the testing is done in the virtual environment. Virtual environment. In the sense, Mr. Adinarayana is working as a QA engineer. They have dedicated QA teams, like a functional team, performance team, security team, database team, database testing team, which includes both functional and non-functional using manual and automation. But whereas in product, actually real testing is done in the live by real users, right? Okay, this is one thing, right? Next point. Suppose if you keep your experience, they'll ask these questions. Hey, what is your account, Mr. Adinarayana? May I know your current working account?
So I'm working on a CBC Ingram Micro. It's account name.
Excellent. Excellent. He got it. Generally, it's a quite common terminology. If you are working in a professional, speaking common term is a very common thing, but you guys may not understand. If I ask your account, you will get confused. Sir, my account is ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank. Then immediately, okay, open the. It's not open the door. They feel like this, embarrassed. Why this? That's why as a DevOps engineer, you are not working for the project. You are not working for the product. Sir, what is that nonsense? Just a few seconds back, you said project and product. Immediately, you are taking turn. That's why looking at here. Even in the DevOps side, you should say, currently, I'm working for an account called, suppose, mobile application payment is an account. This account have four applications, and we are working as a DevOps engineer for this four applications in a single account. We should say like that. Got my point? So if someone asks you a question in your like in an interview, how many applications you dealing as a DevOps engineer, then you have to say in my office or in my current company who are working for the specific client. The client have four accounts. I'm currently working for one account and having four applications. In big companies, they have six applications, seven applications, eight applications, 10 applications, like 12, 12 applications also. Number of services, right? May I know your applications, Mr. Adinarayana?
So we have multiple applications. So main application name is Everest. Under Everest, we have several applications called X4C, X4A,
Yes.
and we have
Clear.
X4V.
Excellent. Isn't it? So that is called real-time voice. That is called real-time vocabulary, right? He's speaking continuously. That's why first, as a DevOps engineer, you should understand that how many accounts your company have. I can't, but as per my understanding, we have multiple accounts, and even a single client have multiple accounts. Multiple account have multiple applications, and multiple application have multiple services, either single services or hybrid services, right? So that's why a DevOps engineer should able to handle four or five different applications, and each and every application has a different technology stack. What is that? Technology stack. Mr. Adinarayana, thank you so much. May I know your technology stack, irrespective of API testing or Selenium and your testing background? Like your client is in Java or .NET, like your total.
So we have .NET, Java, and React.js as front end.
All right.
Backend as Java.
So cool. So whether you are DevOps engineer or test engineer or developer, so client gave the business to us. We are working for a domain actually. Generally, they won't ask domain for your DevOps engineer, but I think so. This guy must know it. Banking, finance, security, insurance, healthcare, telecom, e-commerce. May I know your application domain? Narayana, what is your application domain?
Application domain in the sense.
Like e-commerce or
No,
banking,
it's e-commerce, right?
e-commerce, right? So as a DevOps engineer, we should not too much focus on the domain, but at least sometime they'll test you, right? Who is this guy? What is this? Trilo. Hey, who are you? Trilochanatsa. Are you coming from the first session? Trilochan. Okay. So here, domain. So domain, right? Technology stack is, like he said, right, Java, .NET, maybe Node.js, Python. I'm requesting you from offline and online, whatever I'm speaking the terms today, it is completely come out of the boundaries of DevOps regular sessions. But this is I'm just giving a drill to give some basic terms to you, right? So remember that point. Okay. Now this domain is generally called as a BFSI, banking, finance, security, insurance, healthcare, telecom, e-commerce. Like we have different domains actually. Even right, different domains. Banking, finance, security, insurance, healthcare, telecom, e-commerce, right? Right. Next, every application have some life cycle. If you're working a project as a DevOps engineer, we have different life cycles. The software development life cycle, build life cycle, build life cycle, release life cycle. If I'm not speak some life cycle, Narayana may be going to feel it. That's called software testing life cycle. And he may feel like a bug life cycle and regression life cycle. Am I right, Mr. Adinarayana?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we have, I think you may aware of bug life cycle, regression life cycle, testing life cycle, development life cycle, release life cycles. Okay. I think so if you keep 3 to 4 years, enough. These terms more enough, right? Okay. But trust and anyhow, we have DevOps life cycle. Whoever invented, I have to say namaskar to their feet 100 times and 1,000 times. But I don't know why they give DevOps life cycle. But people are habiting DevOps life cycle in the sense, in the beginning of the demo, I said continuous development, continuous integration, continuous testing, continuous provisioning, continuous configuration management, continuous delivery, continuous deployment, orchestration deployment, continuous monitoring, continuous feedback, continuous innovation. This is the DevOps lifecycle. Okay. That is the testing. Actually, Mr. Narayana, please try to uh, check my definition is right or not. So Mr. Shiva asked a question like regression, right? For example, you are using AC, just assume it. So if you want to use AC, first you should know what is AC, basic functionality of the AC, and you are using as a regular client, regular customer. One fine day you found it, your cooling is not working. Then you report to the technician. And technician back and he identified issue, he fixed it. While fixing, he said one thing, sir, inside AC and some kind of component is damaged. We need to replace with a new one. Then you said, go ahead. Once he had the new functionality, added functionality should work. Plus, due to adding the functionality in the existing AC feature, it should not damage. That is called regression. Any new functionalities are added and existing application should not disturb, right? That's why regression is that is called. Am I right, Mr. Narayana?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you go deeply, there is a different types, regular regression and final regression. Again, it will become like a testing course. Don't ask, please. Okay, if you want, you can note it down. Regular regression, final regression. Best example, just for fun, if you take Rajamouli movies, suppose tomorrow is the release, just assume it. Today night he reviewed, right? Suddenly he got one idea. Then that scene was very disturbed him, right? And he thought that need to add a few more scenes to them. Then obviously he will definitely stop the movie, right? And he may add the new scenes, right? When he add the new scenes, what happens? The existing functionality should not disturb. Now, you may understand some people by seeing the application, navigation, everything, they will test it. The given thing is working fine or not, right? Best example, the best testers are our moms. Nowadays, everyone using the cookers. That's why no need to bother about the whether rice was boiled or not. Simply, yes, pour your water with some level and you can start, right? But in olden days, I used to know that my mom is trying to check water levels, right? When rice was completely boiled, she's going to touch the upper grains, not entire grains, whether it is boiled properly or not. How she's going to check the entire grains was properly boiled? That's why these QA testers are very, very dangerous actually. They are real to the industry, yes, they are required. They will find some smoke test, they find some high level test during the release, right? If any new bugs was encountered, they'll say, sorry, we are not ready. They are saying to the release manager is, we are not ready. Then this guy say like, no go. What do you meant? So there are two terms. Maybe I don't know whether it's what is experience. Go, no go. Do you know that, Mr. Adinarayana?
Yes, sir.
Go, go, no go. Go in the sense after final testing is done. This testing is not only, I'm telling you about the entire project. From developer to the database team, we are working together. We have a release manager. Who's that? Who's that guy? He's a supreme commander than even project manager also. He will play with the project manager. He play the project manager also. The release manager should say sit. Project manager will sit. Stand, stand. That is a capability. Release manager should not say anything, right? So one fine day, we have a plan actually. What is that? Plan. Like every project has schedule, right? Within the schedule only, we have to finish it, right? Suppose after like in coming 3 days, the application should release to the production environment. That day, Mr. Release Manager send an email to development team, QA team, database team, testing team, like DevOps team. Hey, are you ready for release? Then this QA team guys says that wait, we need one more day because still some tests are under pending. We need to finalize it, right? If their explanation is a good, Mr. Release Manager is going to postpone it. Otherwise, sorry, you make it finish it within acceptable release schedule deadlines, you have to say. Suppose all the team members are conflicted with say, sorry, we are not ready. Even DevOps is also saying that infrastructure is not yet ready. Still versions are facing some issues. No proper upgradations, like updations. We need more time to manage it, right? Then every team member is saying like a no go, no go, no go. No go in the sense we are not ready for it, right? So if all peoples are say go in the sense ready for deployment to the production environment. Go, no go. All right. Next, according to your experience, may I know your company size? I don't require your name of the company, just total employee size, maybe 100 plus, 200 plus, 5,000 plus.
No, it's big MNC.
Cool. Like me, cool. Then obviously it's become a thousands, right?
It's lakhs maybe.
Yes. So release managers is mandatory for us. So the size is maybe lakhs. Even if I take me, I have 3 lakhs plus people are around, they cross the globe under different branches actually. Sometimes if you get doubt, actually we are keeping fake experience, right? Sorry to say that. If you keep experience, then definitely by seeing your name of the company, they'll get doubt, right? That company is really looking like some unknown company names, right? Immediately they'll ask, may I know your company size? Then you should say a 500 plus or 1000 plus or something you can say it. So definitely you have to be get ready for that. Why? Because why they're getting is doubt. Company, where it is, where location, size, right, is very important. Right? Should say, if say someone says size, that's your answer. I'm not giving the validity of the answer. If you get some experience from company, ask them, may I know how many members like, or may I know how many, what is my size of the company? Like if it is small company, they say like 150 plus or 200 plus, right? So try to know the size of the company, right? And they'll ask this question. It's not asking the question. Again, it's I said, right? I come up with the dress when I come out of the house. It's common dress required, whether you take rich dress or not, just having level of company. May I know your level company? Suppose according to Adi Narayana and me, it's a level 5. It's a CMM level 5. According to his, even CMMI level 5. So your company is level 5 company. Big companies, MNCs, right? Multinational company, multinational corporate. Right now, I don't want to debate on it. Even if I say you will get unnecessary, you diverted, no need actually. Because anyhow, you know that your company is going to big company or small company, they won't ask. But try to know that vocabulary. Multinational companies are different, multinational corporate is different. All right. So mine is a multinational company, not a corporate. There's a lot of difference. If you have a time, go to Google or maybe DeepSeek, check what are the differences between multinational company, multinational corporate. So, all right, next. Here, CMM in the sense capability maturity model for integration. I think so one M extra get it. All right. Next. For example, when you keep your experience, when you keep your experience, when you're working with applications, actually, we said, right, application, right? Application, right? Application is a what application? Is a web application or is a microservice based applications? You should know, right? Suppose if I'm not wrong, Mr. Radinarayana, according to your experience, I think so it should be either web-based application or
It's web-based
it's
application.
web-based applications, right? In the web-based applications, are you using SOAP-based or REST-based?
REST APIs.
REST APIs, right? So his role is, if you have some common sense, if you really listen my voice, internal you can dance like a Shiva. That is that much information I'm giving, right? If you don't understand, again, it's become like a more recycle bin. That's one of the best recycle bin in this world if you are not understanding. So what I'm trying to say, he is working in the middle layer, Mr. Shiva, sorry, Mr. Adinarayana is working in the middle layer of the application, right? So he's a API tester. Between the presentation layer and database layer, he's a middle person. He's going to test the business logic by sending the request. Why I'm telling is, you don't worry, we'll give the competition to him in the microservices. I already promised, right, Kubernetes. We will kick him logically. There we have a lot of debates, right? Even I can open the Postman also. Lot of people mislead us. As a Kubernetes deployer, every day I'm going to deploy my microservices only. Microservice nothing but compulsory API. API in the sense, obviously, you should require send the request, get the response. Send the request, get the response. Service to service communication. That's why please keep your API tool in your resume also. Please note it down, Shiva. In your resume, API tool like a Postman is required. Don't say REST assured. That is again a programming part. That's why a DevOps engineer is going to be is going to be deploy the web applications. See the difference between the tester and DevOps engineers, right? I said, right? He's the middle person. Sometimes he become like a presentation. According to his experience, he may be Mr. Narayana. You already may work for functional testing, right?
Yes, that's
Geo
my.
testing. Oh, is a great presentation layer. Also, he covered using Selenium or manually, right? Now he came into the middle layer, right? We'll discuss end-to-end workflow, right? It's called API layer, right? Business logic layer. Someone may working for the database, DB testers, right? DB testing, API testing, and geo testing. But we are all king and queens, right? We are going to manage the entire layers, right? You need to design. You need to design and deploy a three-tier architecture into our servers, right? That's why every DevOps engineer should understand how the request is coming from the user to the database and how the database giving the response to the client. That's here, how many roads are there, how many paths are there, how many layers are there, we are trying to wash out. That's why may know what kind of applications you are deployed. Then immediately confident say three-tier architecture. What is that? Three-tier in the sense web application. Sometimes you go for entire also, right? Sometimes entire, right? So three-tier architecture. The three-tier architecture. Entire architecture, right? Don't confuse tier. Later we'll discuss in the AWS environment. I can help you how to do deployment with the three-tier applications, right? Clear? So presentation layer, business logic layer, and the database layer is nothing but applications. Right? Nowadays, maximum we use web applications. Right? Any application access through browser, that is called web applications. Right? Am I right? Without browser, can you access your web application? Without internet, you can't, right? But without internet also you can access. That is a different story. I don't want to confuse you. That is called intranet based. What is that? Okay. Mr. Rajnarana, I need help from this point. Please come to the audibility. Are you working in
Okay.
pre-prod or prod?
We work in beta, pre-prod, prod, three areas.
That's why like ఇలాంటి వాళ్ళు ఉంటే బాగుంటుంది సెషన్ and I mean to say that I'm not commenting. Please don't take it in negative way, right? See, when the mentor is speaking some terms, if they really listen it, the real-time professionals are scrutinizing. They're like Nikhileshwari, Adinarayana. They may know whether Srinivas is really dancing in a proper way or he's dancing with a physical handicap. I'm not talking about physical handicap, the thought. So he said, right, alpha, beta, prod. So testers work చేసినప్పుడు DevOps is also going to be work for the pre-production and production deployments, right? So that's why pre-prod environments may know that, yes, dev environment, QA environment, SIT environment, UAT environment. Got my point? A production environment, right? These are all servers, right? That's why a DevOps engineer also should working on pre-production deployment and production deployments. Production in the sense what? Live servers, right? Live environments, right? Now again, I'm taking help from the, before that, Nikhileshwari. Are you there? Okay, I think so. Today she absent. Okay. Looking.
Sir, I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, my laptop is
Okay.
it's having some problem, so it's very slow to enable
Okay.
and that's all.
No issues, right? Okay, next,
Yes.
Adinarayana, do you heard about this cluster?
Not really, sir.
So obviously, okay, normally you use a word called smoke and the sanity test.
Yes, smoke testings, man.
Which one you use it?
It's according to release.
Okay,
If it
so
is new
normal.
build, if
Yeah.
it is new build, we perform smoke test first. So if there are no major blockers, if it is,
Mm.
we can go ahead with some kind of testing. So we can do smoke testing.
All right. So if it is a new build, new release, not build actually, he said a new release actually, even new build, that terms we'll discuss, right? So before that, cluster. How many QA members working in your project environment?
We are like 7 to 8 members,
78.
including on-site,
All right. Including offshore and on-site?
including like one person from onshore, like
Okay.
rest are from.
So I think so every day you are going to connect to the QA server to access your web applications or to access our API request. I think so they deploy the applications in your servers and you are going to use a Postman or REST assured, you are going to access the response, right?
Right.
So the QA server actually. So cluster in the sense, number of servers, right? Combination of one or more servers, right? Combination of one or more servers. For example, you only said that in the pre-prod and production environment. In the production environment, definitely applications released to more than one server or single server, according to your guess, Narayana.
Can you repeat, sir?
So, so you already said you have little bit or reasonable like exposure on the production environment, production testing, you can say, right? So
Right.
in production environment, may I know how many servers are going to manage by your client to access your applications or to manage their applications?
Uh,
Right. Then obviously testers have their limitations. They have access. Using URL, they can access it. Using URL, they will access it. But that URL is nothing but something like google.com, xyz.com, some port number with like IP address with port number. It's sending the request, but that request is redirecting somewhere, finally go to the destination, come back. So in between your request and actual response, your application may be available in more than one server's right. Okay. What I'm telling here is this is our actual clear dress actually. DevOps engineers should understand the cluster, right? Cluster in the group of servers. Suppose in India there are 5 servers required for my development for my application to the client. And US, there were 10, maybe UK 10, totally 30. What I do is I want to deploy the application into the 30 servers. I deploy to only 3 clusters. Every cluster contains 10 servers, right? In case in future cluster require a few more servers, I manage the clusters only, not the servers, right? Got my point? Maybe in Corona time, you maybe hear the word right, cluster. In government of states and government of India, encircle a cluster name like, hey, in this place, in this area, don't go. It's a affected area, right? Cluster is nothing but a group of servers, right? That's we are going to deploy on single server, or if you want to deploy on group of servers, they never talk as a server. They should call as a cluster deployment. What is that? So cluster deployment. Cluster deployment. Now, so what is meant by deployment? DevOps we frequently listen it actually. So as per now, you just keep your application at the server and able to access. Just example, I deploy you at one client place. In our job-oriented way, in our work culture, or if you're working as employee, if you get an offer from X company, either IT engineer or non-IT engineers, your company will deploy at one client place. Deploy. You have to go there. You have to work for the client. In our application point of view, deploy your application at server. Keep your code at the server so that you can access it. So deployment in the sense what? Process of keeping your application as an executable code at one server and able to access from the server as a URL. What is that URL? We'll discuss later. So deployment. There are two types of deployment. Horizontal deployment. Horizontal deployment. Vertical deployment. Horizontal deployment. Vertical deployment. Vertical deployment. So what is horizontal and vertical? For example, vertical in the sense like a straight in general. Horizontal in the sense like this. What this horizontal and vertical in the sense? Best example, suppose take your home. Your home is 3 bedroom. Your family basically, total family size is 5 members, right? Now you are enjoying it. Once a generation is grown up, maybe it becomes like your kids, like your sisters, and you are married, and maybe new people came, and obviously the total house size is become like a large 12 members. The existing room is not enough. Then what you do? You have to buy for another third bedroom, or you already constructed a villa or in your open flat. Then obviously you can take one more floor, right? You don't go for new house. You never buy the new house. You are going to expand the existing places in your existing existing house, right? Vertical in the sense, they won't add the new CPU. They don't add the new desk. They don't add a new server, right? Within the existing configurations only, they will increase it, right? That's called vertical, right? Horizontal in the sense, buy a new house, buy a new house. Whenever more members are coming to your home, new server, new server, new server, new server, right? That's why as a DevOps engineer, you have to know these 2 points very seriously. Vertical deployment, horizontal deployment. Vertical deployment, horizontal deployment. Because every day, Linux command, PS command, sometimes you may get bored. So these terms will refresh a lot. Okay. And there is a
Sir,
two thing. Yeah, please.
సార్ ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అర్థమైంది బట్ ఇంకొంచెం క్లియర్గా రియల్ టైం ఏదైనా చెప్పగలుగుతారా హారిజాంటల్ డెప్లాయ్మెంట్ వర్టికల్ డెప్లాయ్మెంట్
So that's why you
అంటే
have to add the number
న్యూ
of
హౌస్
servers.
న్యూ సర్వర్ అది అర్థమవుతుంది
That's
బట్
as of now, suppose
అర్థం
no, ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని టర్మ్స్ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడున్న కండిషన్స్ లో నేను టామ్ క్యాడ్ ఓపెన్ చేసేసి హారిజాంటల్ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ చెప్పలేను, వర్టికల్ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ చెప్పలేను.
అదే అంటే ఈ హారిజాంటల్
ఇప్పుడు చూడండి.
డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ అనేది అన్ని లాంగ్వేజెస్ కి అప్లికబుల్ అవుతుంది కదా ఇది కంప్యూటర్ ఆర్ సర్వర్ సైడ్ వర్డ్స్ అంతేగాని ప్రాసెస్ సైడ్ కాదు
Come again, please.
ఈ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ అంటే మన జనరల్ గా ఏంటంటే ప్రాజెక్ట్ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఏదైనా ఉందంటే ప్రాజెక్ట్ అనేది క్లయింట్ సర్వర్ లో మనం డిప్లాయ్ చేస్తామని అర్థం జనరల్ గా
Yes.
సో
Yes.
హారిజాంటల్ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ అండ్ వర్టికల్ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ అంటే వర్టికల్ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ అంటే ఏదైనా ప్రాజెక్ట్ అంటే డిస్క్ స్పేస్ లేకపోతే అది డిప్లాయ్ చేయలేకపోవడం హారిజాంటల్ డిప్లాయ్మెంట్ అంటే డిస్క్ స్పేస్ ఉంటే డిప్లాయ్ చేయడం అంటారా
That's not
నా
like that.
నా-
One second. Suppose
ఇంకేదైనా ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తారా
this is my server.
ఓకే
A Tomcat or WebLogic or any you take server, right? Or maybe Glassfish, something like. So in this server, we have some room actually. One folder will be there, right? Like a root folder. there a DevOps engineer will take the code and they are trying to transfer this code to this folder, right? This is called root folder where applications are running. Now, my Tomcat is a server. That server contains one folder. On that folder, they give build, right? Build format like a var or jar or year or image. They deploy this code into this folder, right? So now application is running. Application is running, right? Production. Suppose suppose Shiva is a DevOps engineer. Now, Mr. Dravid is a client. So, in his physical environment, like in his data center, because he's a business guy, right? He's going to maintain the application for your end users. For example, the Dravid having some 50,000 users, right? 50,000 user base, right? 50,000 users, right? So Shiva deploy the application to the web apps, but before deploying the application to the web apps, at the time of beginning, both handshake together, client Dravid saying to the X company is, my user base is of 5,000. I'm running a small software applications, okay, in Hyderabad. One of my place is available in the Gachibowli. In Gachibowli, I have one data center, right? Two data centers. Two data centers, no, two big servers. Got it? Two big server. So it means two data centers, right? One data center is a one cluster, assume it, and another data center is having another cluster, right? So that's why I'm saying, if you ask the high availability and if I cross the boundary, total word will be bounce. Don't touch that area, please, including Nikuleshwari or someone. Just observe the high level terms. If you ask the cluster, then I have to jump into the topology. Then again, I have to explain the cluster architecture. Again, I'll go there. But according to simple understanding, this cluster is a capacity of handling the 25,000 they designed. So this cluster is having capacity of 25,000 users. Like all 25,000 mobiles or desktop in your Kokatpalli or in your Gachibowli or in your high-tech city. In Hyderabad, Dravid is having 50,000 customers every day. They are accessing the application. Now, according to the architects, they designed the data center. They defined the two clusters. Each and every cluster is having capability of handling the 25,000 users at a time, right? This is actual structure, right? One fine day, due to his excellence of the business, the Dravid got more business from 50,000 users to 1 lakh users. What I need to do? 1 lakh. 50,000 users increased. Obviously, 50,000 connections I have to give more, right? Then more load on the server, right? Each and every cluster is a capacity of 25,000. The cluster is nothing but 4 servers, assume it, right? 4 servers in cluster 1, 4 server in the cluster, or 5 server in cluster A, 5 server in cluster B. Totally 10 servers running. Immediately, one more 50,000 users got. Now, when I asked the Dravid client, Dravid saying that, sorry, I don't have extra money to expand my server. Got my point? Nikuleshwari. I don't have budget. I don't have budget to expand. What I need to do then?
Yes.
What I need to do within the existing infrastructure only, I have to adjust.
Yes.
Otherwise, I have to convince him, okay, Baba, even if I now adjust the servers, one find a tomorrow 150 lakhs, 2 lakhs users are increased, your server going to be down utterly. You're going to be lost. Then moment, last night, Mr. Dravid is think very technically. Then he gave, okay, no problem. Please increase the number of servers, right? Increasing the number of servers is nothing but horizontal, right? Existing infrastructure settlement, adjustment, copying the, like removing the existing thing, if it is a waste, like saving the space, right? That's called, that is clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So still lots of stories are there. So that's why E and I have to talk about instances, scalability, availability. మనకేంటంటే బేసిక్గా we are very happy to use the terms on the fly. I'm not talking to you, even who are working in the company, just like on the fly. But the deployment, scalability, availability is again a big terms, right? Okay. Clear, Adinarayana and Dinesh and Nikuleshwari and others? What, Dinesh, you're not speaking. You feel bored?
No, I'm trying to get it.
All right. Now, come back. Now, immediately I have one term for Nikuleshwari this time because she's a mainframe developer. I think so she may catch my word. Suppose cold deployment. Now, this word, Shiva is automatic. Sir, don't want to ask the professional. Ask me, I can help him. Cold deployment, hot deployment. Dravid will say, right, sir, server is keep on running. That's why the server is always hot. That's called hot deployment. But due to air cooling, we are continuously supplying the ACs to the servers. When I touch the hardware is giving so touch as a cool. So I sensed as a cool. That's what's called as a cold deployment. Superb, right? Anyone? Nikuleshwari, Narayana, Dinesh, and Priyanka, or whoever. Akhil,
Uh,
Andre.
Recently, you spoke about these terms.
Okay.
Cold deployment means like we should stop the server and we should like deploy deploy. Hot deployment means the server like during the server
Yes.
is running, the
Yes.
deployment happens.
Yes. So in cold deployment, we'll stop the server, we'll stop the services, we'll take the backup, and we'll release the application to the server. Then we can up it. In hot deployment, we don't want to stop it continuously. How to maintain? So that I will technically show you in the Tomcat, right? This is our regular terms. That's we have to show it. Cold deployment, hot deployment. Now, during that cold deployment, I turned to Mr. Adinarayana. You said, right, smoke and sanity.
Yeah.
So actually, guys, DevOps engineers should use this term very confidently, effectively, right? Suppose I'm a CI/CD engineer. In the demonstration, we already discussed theory, right? I take the code from GitHub through Maven, and I build some package. I deploy into my some X, then I move to the QA, right? Before moving to the QA, first let me kill questions from his testing world, right? Suppose in your organization, Adinarayana, who do the smoke test? A senior test engineer or junior test engineer? If I'm not wrong, senior test engineer will do that.
Right.
Right. He said senior testers only do that, right? Why? Why can't you do that? Suppose if I am working as a junior tester. Any guess?
No, he is senior having a more knowledge on the application line.
Excellent. Okay. Actually, you take an example, best example. You are working in a company, or if you take best example of theater, right? Before starts the show, the management, theater management will recruit one worker. He's trying to clean up everything, right? Right? Suppose instead of cleaning, suppose show is running. When you clean up, what happens? What happened? That's I want from you, right? What happened? Suppose show is running. Now worker came and he's trying to start cleaning. What happens? Disturbance. Here, disturb in the sense coding will be disturbed. Integration is going to be disturbed. Continuous linking will be disturbed. DB connection is going to be fail. Backup will be fail. That's why smoke is always essential to DevOps engineers, right? If you deploy the application into the QA server, before deploy to the server in your local environment, you drill your own way. Best example, last day, before day, government of India gave the drill in safe mode. Why? Alert the people. If any case war is declared or war really happen, if it touch the missiles to your city, you have to protect yourself, right? That's in smoke test. You need to cross verify the stability of the build. What is that? Stability of the build. That's called build verification test. Especially this is our corner. This is our major dress as a DevOps engineer, right? If the build is not stable, now see, Mr. Adinarayana will immediately say that. Can you fix the bug or can you reject the build, Mr. Narayana?
If there are major blockers, we reject the build.
Simply. They never start testing. They never raise the defect to the QA team, or maybe developers team. Simply rejected. Between him, between her, who is middle person, DevOps engineers, right? Why the build is rejected by the QA team? What is the problem in the build? So build life cycle you have to understand. What is that? Build life cycle. That's why in the before looking at, I use the word called build life cycle. You are the central persons to manage all these things, right? Even as a DevOps engineer, you have to do smoke test. If in the smoke test, if any tests are failure, you alert the developers, Are Baba, please fix it, right? So that's why before starts the actual execution testing or actual application using, a senior people goes to the office bit early, or they will connect to the server early in their home, work from home. Suppose if you're working in, they open the application from the server, they do some couple of tests. That's a test case is nothing but not only a develop testers, keep in mind. As a DevOps engineer in the Jenkins pipeline, you have to integrate the unit test case is perfectly working or not. Integration test case working properly or not. System test case working properly or not. Acceptance test case is working properly or not. So again, you'll get confused, sir. What is the test cases? For example, I'm not feel well last 2 days onwards. Before coming to the session, I just visited the hospital. Mr. Doctor, my body was shivering due to some things. What happens? Then he said, wait, I'll give some test. So he written some test names. Then I gave the blood to the lab. Then what he did, he take the samples from and he's going to do some diagnosis, right? Finally, tomorrow evening or maybe day after tomorrow, I get the results. Then based on the results, my doctor will give some medicine, right? Test in the sense giving input with the conditions and try to verify the expected outcomes. If the expected outcomes and actual outcomes is similar, then there was a problem in the body. Otherwise, expected is different, actual is different. Something is going to be say. A DevOps engineer is also, if the unit test cases are failure, you alert the developer. Hey, build is not so stable. Please fix it, right? Get my point? That's why if you observe our terminology, last 15 minutes onwards, terminology, test cases, build, server, cluster. This is a regular vocabulary dress. Earlier, we discussed about PWD, LS, CAT, RM, move. There, your room, that's your room. But when you come out of the room, we have a people, right? Project manager, QA manager, test engineers, developers, network engineer, DevOps engineer. build and release engineer, DB engineer. They take the handshake. They'll try to speak like this. My DB cluster is a fail. What is meant by DB cluster? Something like that. One developer is saying that, sorry, the cyclomatic complexity is too bad. My DevOps engineer is rejected, right? Huh? What is that? Cyclomatic complexity. Code is very complex. Then I rejected build. Boss, your code is too much worst. It's too high. Maybe compliance is not working. Compliance is not supporting me. That's why I have to stop it, right? So a dress is required. A DevOps engineer requires a technical dress, right? This cyclomatic complexity. Maybe now, I can see his smile in his invisible mode, right? You know metrics, Mr. Adinarayana.
RTM, requirement traceability metrics.
So that's old one, I think so. These are old metrics, RTM metrics, right? Any defect removal efficiency, DRE?
No,
Okay.
we don't know that.
Defect density?
These terms like we regularly don't use in industries and all.
Okay. So best example, you execute your test cases. Okay. You found some 50 defects in your first iteration. Developer rejected 40. So the developer only accepts 10 defects only. In the sense, your efficiency is a 0. Tester always trying to find the more bugs. Developer should accept it. Then only his role is become a real, right? More valid. What is the duty of test engineer? Find the quality. What is meant by quality? Must find the defects before hand over to the client. If the developer is always rejecting, he is not doing well. There is always cold war between the developer and tester. In between, we have to compress it. And we have to manage both, right? He's saying defect, no. He's saying defect, no. Between, we have to repeat the cycle. He's saying like a defect. Again, developer is sometimes fixed. Now, Mr. Tester will raise the green flag. Hey, I want it. Yahoo wanted it. If the developer is rejecting, he feel like a very dull. Suppose out of 100 defects, he raised, but developer accepted 5 only. That is called defect removal efficiency. Got my point, Mr. Adinarayana? Number of defects.
Yes, sir.
That's why how many number of test cases? Like number of test cases executed by total number of test cases into 100%. So that's why process metrics, project metrics, product metrics, we also required. We have DevOps metrics. We'll discuss later. Okay. What is that? DevOps metrics. Metric is nothing but measurement. You must have a most powerful measurement like code coverage. Have you heard about coverage? At least Narayana or Nikhileshwari, test coverage.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so test coverage, right? So cyclomatic complexity, defect density, defect removal efficiency, test case pass percentage, test case failure. According to industry, 85% of the test case should be pass for the 80%. Some companies will take 90. Some companies say like they'll give some standard ratio, right? If these number of test cases are passed, then only DevOps engineer release the build to the QA team. Otherwise, I can't allow the developers. So that is our principle. So that's why in interviews, okay, what type of tool used? I use GitHub, Maven, Docker, Kubernetes, SonarQube. If I find a SonarQube, yes, I use a SonarQube. What is the use of SonarQube? I scan the defects. This is called static analysis security testing. What is static analysis security testing? We simply scan the code, we'll find the defect. What is that? Scan the code, we find the defect. Now, if I ask Mr. Adinarayana, he's a black box tester or a white box tester? The black box tester. Are you black or white?
Black box.
Black box tester. What do you mean by black box testing? Without understanding the internal structure of the code, simply giving input, check the output, compare the defect, and raise the defects in the defect tracking system. It may be a Jira or blah, blah, blah. But as a DevOps engineer, before reaching the code to him, we are working like a white box tester. We scan the code. So duplication is more. Duplication is more complexity. And test case coverage is too dull. This is not up to the percentage, right? And compliance is too worst. Syntactically too worst. More duplication, more redundancy, more code is repeating, right? So code is very weak. More memory leaks. We have to find out. So white box testing, black box testing I use, right? Now people will laugh at actually because they are immature. If you're really working in team as application environment, that is my mature dress. Get my point? So that's why terms, some companies will seriously take the consideration of the terms, right? If you keep 2 years and 3 years, you are acceptable. But if you keep 4 years and 5 years and 6 years and 10 years in DevOps culture, you are going to be talked to the multiple teams, right? Every team has its own culture. That's why I said, right? We are circus men. And we have around different soft animals and hard animals like semi-soft and something like. You have to understand the behavior of the persons, right? That's called term vocabulary, right? But no need to be panicked. Sir, do you really require to know the selling? Why you require it? That is the testers, they do it. That's not your job. If you want to do that, is a great. Definitely. Suppose API testing, Postman REST assured. Okay, I integrate the API in the Kubernetes cluster. I can check my service is working or not. It's added advantage if you don't keep quiet. But white box testing, black box testing, the gray box testing, these are the we are applying this white box testing very seriously in the continuous integration. In the continuous integration, we integrate the unit test cases and integration test cases. We test it through Maven. In the Maven, we integrate these test cases, but we never write down the test cases. Developer all build the test cases, they'll throw to the code. But we have to test it. Unit test case pass or failure, integration test case or pass or failure, right? That's why unit testing, integration testing, metrics, smoke, deployment, life cycles. These are all what regular vocabulary terms we use it as a DevOps engineer. And one fine day, looking at, did you heard about this word, Mr. Adinarayana? Even Nikhileshwari. But you try to get it today when you go to your office, right? So SCF in the sense soft code freeze. HCF in the sense hard code freeze. Soft code freeze and hard code freeze. Okay. It's very easy, but right now I don't want to pollute your mind. In the Maven, I will tell you about this soft code freeze. For example, according to his understandable world, right? For example, Adinarayana, you almost like system testing and acceptance testing is over. All major defects, minor defects, you fixed it. But unfortunately, we got some major defects. You encountered some major defects at the time of release, right? So can you test the major defects, or can you prepare release note and we can ask the client to go for next iteration as a sprint?
If it is major blocker, we need to fix. We need to inform the client manager at least.
Suppose if you want, before fixing it, is already your build is locked. What is used? I use the word what? Build is locked, freezed. Already where the build is freezed in your repository, right? Suppose where you keep your money, ATM, like bank, and you lock it with your PIN number, right? Okay, even best example, per day transaction is some 50,000 or 25,000 for a single ATM, right? If you want to try extra, it won't allow you. But one find you seriously want to the bank is, hey, I want to extra withdraw money more. Then he said, no, you should come to the bank and deposit, right? I mean, withdraw it. No, I don't want. then what he will say? Two things are there. Whether you are really premium customer, premium client, and your turnover is a crores and crores, maybe he think. Otherwise, you have to follow it. That's why there are certain times you will fix the bugs. Sometimes there are certain times we can't. That's the outstanding defects, where to fix, where not to fix it. There, we have a bridge call. What is that? Do you have any bridge calls or triage calls, Mr. Narayana?
Yes,
Which one?
between onshore and offshore.
What do you call?
No, bridge
Do you have
calls
any
only.
specific term? Like,
No, we generally connect with onshore and offshore net around once they logged
okay.
in.
Any technical term for that, like a bridge call or triage call?
We call as
Okay,
bridge
bridge
call.
call. Cool, right. So bridge call,
If it
like
is if it is something related to bugs or something, we call it as working session.
what? Sorry, the term.
If it is something related to bugs,
Hmm.
fixes, we schedule working sessions with devs,
Hmm.
developers, and testers.
Mhm. Okay. So it's just like speaking, it's saying like in between something was happened, need some technical discussion, they are trying to fight. But in our continuous integration delivery deployment, suddenly we got hot fix. What is that? Hot fix. In the sense, huge severe defect, huge severe problem is encountered in the production environment. Then client, you start ringing. Best example, any natural disaster is happen, immediately commissioner departments, police department will continuously get the call from the common people, right? Ringing, right? Then let get up. From the development team to the production monitoring team, all heads will be come. What happened, right? In the triage call, they will always try to understand the root cause analysis. Where is the problem? Where is the problem? Where is the problem? Then testers and network engineers and production engineers, L5 engineers, L4 engineers, and everyone is coming and they are working on it. That's why DevOps engineers, sometimes some companies will take you to the bridge call or triage call, listen what's happening, right? They'll train you, right? Suppose I'm a senior to you, right? Whenever production ring with some severity, how I tackle the situation, how can I handle it, how can I understand it, how can I shoot the questions, how can I troubleshoot it. In troubleshooting, if I find some problem, then how can I talk to the specific person, how can I alert them, how can I send the mail, how they are again connecting to each other, how they are sharing. Get my point? This is what actually a discussion room, war room, some people say like war room. Yes, exactly. Right, also we have war room, right? War discussions, right? So in the deployment, it will happens, right? Got my point? That's why most of the time should happen at the production. There is a word I use like hot fix. Hot fix. What is this? Huh? Six pack. There is a word called. If you say six pack, you take AK-47, they will shoot you, right? There is no six pack. Who said, right? Tell me. My Srinivas mentor said there is a six pack is there. Then Mr. Radhinarayana, maybe Amrit or maybe Niklesh said that there is 11 packs or 20 packs or 30 packs, right? So there is no six pack. There is a fix pack. Fix pack. The technical term is fix pack. Hot fix and fix pack. And we use something like a build, version, patch. So we need to automate. We should automate. Best example, your mobile phone version, that, Mr. Rahul Dravid. Do you know how to say it? Just cross-check mobile version, anyone? I need a version, actually. Hmm. 3 point. 0.25.6. Actually, the same version you have to maintain in your project environment, right? As a DevOps engineer, you have to release the application in such a way to the teams, right? First version is, 3, major version. Major version dot, minor version dot, hotfix dot, build number. Or major version dot, minor version dot, fixback dot, build number. In generally, last digit is the build number, right? Last digit nothing but build number. That's why when you are talking about GitHub, when you're talking about the branches, you should understand how to create the major branch, minor branch, or fixed branch, QA branch, fixed branch, like fixback branch. We should know that. What is that? Version. Version is nothing but what? Enhancements of the build. What is the build? Build is nothing but a set of executable files generated after source code compilation, right? For example, you take my body is a build. Build has its format actually. Build has its own format. What is that format? If it is a web application, the format is a var. If it is a desktop, like if it is a microservice based application, it is a jar. If it is enterprise application, it is a var. If you are using microservices, nowadays your build is a image. From the image, you have to create the containers, right? Who will handle this build? Who will handle the versions? Who will handle the patches? Patches in the sense, a small minor rectification given by the developer based on the rejected build, right? You have to test the patches. Patch works on together. When I do the, like, suppose then I'll take some kind of patch. So minor thing, minor modification given to the reject on the build, right? That's why handling the patches. That's why tomorrow I will explain the patch through file system. Simple example, like that's why patches apply. Even they should do some testing also, patch testing, right? Production lo small patches and test chesava meeremana, Mr. Adinarayana.
Yes, I tested in my first company.
All right. So
Not,
that's why
not
he
in
tested
second.
some kind of patches, right? Okay. That's a patches, versions, build, hotfix. Hotfix in the sense immediate fix, actually. You should not take too much time. What about fixback? Any idea, Nikhileshwari, according to your experience, or even someone, Akhil or Murali Krishna or Trilochan Nathcha?
నాకైతే ఆ టర్మ్స్ ఫిక్స్ ప్యాక్ అని ఏమి ఉండదు.
Okay. Suppose generally major funding, major profits getting by the software company from the client due to maintenance only, maintenance projects. So generally, if your project cost is 3 months, nowadays we are following agile process, 10 times, 10 into 3, 30 months. If your total development cost is 2 years, 10 into 20 years maintenance. 20 years maintenance project. 20 years. In the sense, I'm very happy. My client is always should take the services from me at the maintenance, right? We have a SLA. What is SLA? Service level agreement. SLI, service level indicators. SLO, service level objects, right? Like agreements, we'll take the agreements between the clients. Looking at now, unfortunately, Dravid is giving a project to the Wipro, and Susava, నీకు జాబ్ రాకుండా project ఇచ్చేస్తున్నా. So Wipro gave the projects to him, and total project is 1 year, and he said that due to SLA, he given a 5 years, right? 10 years there. Every year, I have to get more extra money from you. That is my business, right? The software company always gets some pounds and dollars. How can I? Then I'll play some tactics. Hey, every 6 months, I'm giving some touch to you, right? Touch in the sense, new updates are there. We already developed some new functionalities. If you don't add it, your application may be affected, right? Just like free, buy one, get one free, right? Something like, we always give some extra add-ons. If I continuously, regularly add the add-on, what happens? You'll get bored, right? Best example, if I stop the explaining the CI/CD tools, every day I'm explaining my real-time experience, you will get bored. Maybe once in a while is acceptable. That's every 6 months wise, every 8 months, we give some new features to the client. That's called fix pack. Got my point? Not face pack. So it's a fix pack, right? That's why hot fix pack, build, version, patches, maybe major versions and minor versions, right? Do you have any word called golden build, Mr. Adinarayana? And golden build and
No,
diamond builds, bronze build. Any?
no.
Okay, master server. Okay, I think so. We already crossed his limits, right? Like beyond it. So testing is suppose he gave some answers very nicely. So we should better thank him, right? Okay. But when you come into the DevOps, as I said, right? మనం ఎంక్రాచ్మెంట్ అంటాం తెలుగులో అంటే దురాక్రమణ మన కమ్యూనికేషన్ మన వొకాబులరీ మన లైక్ అవర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అవర్ నాలెడ్జ్ అవర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అవర్ టూల్స్ అవర్ కవరేజ్ అవర్ వే ఆఫ్ థింకింగ్ అవర్ వే ఆఫ్ వర్కింగ్ the way we explore the tools and the defects and root cause analysis and writing the pipelines and scaling is a bigger way, right? Whether you're working in a small scale application or big scale applications, right? That's for me, DevOps is a great art. System engineering application is entirely at your feet, right? Then you have to be, and అది ఎలా అంటే అది you have to enjoy it, adapt అవ్వాలి. If you have adoption, like how I actively explain some terms, right? అది వచ్చేస్తుంది మీకు. But before that, as a beginner like you, first you should understand small chocolates. These are all biscuits, right? As a kids, how you take it. ఇవి లేకుండా వెళ్ళారనుకో వాడేదో సోది చెప్తా ఉంటాడు. So one fine day, you maybe get one word. For example, Mr. Narayana, you gave any fun word in your organization. For example, Mr. Shiva is continuously calling. We have some agreements between me and him, right? Agreement in this, we are having some separate project works. Shiva is doing a personal project with me, right? One fine evening, he called me. Then I said, I responded to Mr. Shiva, I'm at oh.
Out of office.
So this fellow know that this is a common term. You know that. Oh, in the sense, out of office. Now one fine day, Mr. Project Manager or maybe your buddy, I'm at oh. What oh and is calling me, right? And sometimes these small terms will irritate me, right? Hey, what Tirthanada? Is it technical or what? It will put me into the confused state of me, right? And it itching me a lot, right? You have to vanish it actually. That's we have a free time. You go through the company's friends. Are Baba, I'm learning this course. If I put some 3 to 4 years as dot experience, what kind of questions, like how they may judge me, irrespective of subject. Will you please give me some common terms, common vocabulary, common email terms, right? Please explain how to talk to the project manager. Okay. So these terms, right? Suppose there is a WIP, work in progress.
Work in progress.
Okay. Now suppose Shiva asking me, hey Srinivas, do you have budget policy, right? Bring your own device. Bring your own device, right? You know, assets. What is so? Just hand over assets to the HR department and leave the company. We are already we got good work from you, right? Assets in the sense your laptops, your ID cards, and the like. So that is called assets. Asset and don't give your money and sorry, you never send money. Then how can you give? Okay, then immediately, where are you from? Then I'm from some XYZ. We know that. Now you can leave the house, right? So assets, right? And sometimes Mr. Suppose KT. This is common. KT stands for knowledge transfer. So when you are working in a company, when you join it, they'll give the KT. They'll KT in the training. Training in the they will don't give 6 months training again. in IT company won't expect training in the sense like me or like any mentor in the world. They'll open the slides and they will explain within a minute or hour and one day. Start tomorrow onwards. You have to start. So knowledge transfer. Suppose Mr. Narayana, so you're working for how many applications? Or only one applications or multiple applications?
No, it's multi-application. Three
Multiple
applications.
applications.
It's integration testing.
Okay. Is a system integration or only integration?
It's just only integration. I guess.
All integrations, right? So are you testing any stubs and drivers in the API level? Mocking.
No, we have APIs. We just some discounts to one application from admin. We as a customer we need to access those discounts. So
Okay.
this is the APIs we are generally use.
Mocking. Have you heard about mocking? Mock test.
Mock okay, mock APIs means like practice APIs.
Definitely you have to do it, right? In integration testing, mocking is most important.
Right.
So what is Tejaswini? So in this general office కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఇలా ఉంటుంది ఇంకా కన్వర్జేషన్. Got my point? అర్థమవుతుందా what I'm trying to say, guys? Online and offline. So every time don't always learn the Kubernetes, Docker, Jenkins, blah, Linux, right? Out of the box, sometime at least 10 days wise or 1 month wise, you just know. Mocking is most important. So that's what DevSecOps. There's a SecOps, right? In the securities team enter the picture. Suppose he's doing API testing, right? You know, stubs and drivers. What is that? Stubs and drivers. Forget about it. I'll tell you in simple example. You know how to construct the house, Shiva? What nonsense you are talking, Srinivas. I'm not a civil engineer. You don't say like, just for fun actually. Suppose when pillars are raised, walls are raised, you have to connect the two walls, right? For that, they pour the concrete, right? Before pouring the concrete, they connect the walls with the wooden plates. Wooden plates. Why they're giving wooden plates? To make your substance harden up to some days, right? Whenever substance is hardened, what happens? We remove the plates, right? Why I need a plate? Supporting, right? Is that supporting? So I'm calling to the Shiva. Shiva is a call. I'm a caller. He's a callie, right? The call is most important, but he's not there. Then I can create a mock, work like a virtual, not real. But I want to test this communication. That's why API communication is a major dress in the microservice deployment, especially working in the Kubernetes, right? That movement, integration testing, system integration, environment, mocking, and mock calls, mock APIs is always required in the application world. And all these terms will be called as a application terminologies. Like sometimes we speak networking terminology, right? Sometimes we speak server terminology. Sometimes we talk about DB terminology, right? Client terminologies, right? And sometimes I will ask one question. Oh, I forgot. Now he said like multiple applications he's working. Do you have same login or different logins?
We have different logins.
Different logins. Different login for every application has a different, like for every application is a different IDs, right? Okay. Actually, for my case, I have a KID. What is that? K, knowledge identification. When I enter this KID, it automatically connecting to the background 3 applications or 5 applications or 6 applications. I don't want to give multiple logins, right? That's why in a AWS environment, there is a concept called as organizations. What is that? Organizations, right? We need to create organization. Suppose Shiva is working for the insurance, Shiva is working for the database application, Shiva is working for some web applications. Instead of giving 3 IAM, right? There are 2 users in AWS, like one is a root user and IAM, I said beginning, right? Instead of creating the 3 IAM users and passwords, I'll give only 1 IAM user and password. Automatically, I can connect to DB application, insurance application, like that. So that's why that is most important. Okay. Next and last but not least, before stopping again, next month, free by stopping this session, I will ask one more question. Are you use any Jenkins, Mr. Narayana?
No,
Okay. Any other like any tools used like
I use GitHub.
GitHub? Oh, okay. GitHub use, right? So
Yeah.
GitHub Actions are just only sharing the source code, or are you creating any branches? Are you create any webhooks? For
We
what
take
purpose?
branch and we update the branch.
Okay, you create the branches, right? Okay. So different branches, like which branch, like a QA branch or hotfix branch or final branch or dev branch or master branch,
We have QA branch.
QA branch, right? So QA branch you created, right? How many branches you have? Like only one QA branch or multiple QA branches?
No, each one having they create their branch.
Okay. So every time if you are you doing manually, like how you know that the branch is required to create as a QA engineer? Suppose there are 5 engineers are there, test engineers. 5 engineers going to be created 5 branches every time. Why should I create a every time branch? Any new feature was added or any bug was fixed on the same build?
No, in my branch, I'll write my code, my APIs, and I automate. I'll raise a pull request to QA branch.
So, so the major purpose for you is here. I'm not asking a question. I'm not at all. I'm dragging into my discussion. I'm
Okay.
dragging him into my discussion. అంటే స్టార్ట్ చేసేలా నారాయణతో నారాయణ ఏం చేస్తున్నాడు నా క్వశ్చన్కి ఏదో ఇస్తున్నాడు ఆన్సర్ అంటే ఆయనకి ఏదో అర్థమవుతుంది కొన్ని కాన్ఫిడెంట్గా చెప్పేస్తున్నాడు కొన్ని ఏమో అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ద బౌండరీ అయినప్పుడు ఈవెన్ మీ ఆర్ హిమ్ ఆల్సో కెనాట్ బట్ ఏదో ప్రాసెస్ రన్ అవుతుంది కదా దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ వొకాబులరీ అర్థమవుతుందా దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ వొకాబులరీ either it may be QA or it may be devops, it may be a development or it may be a something like a network engineers, right? అలా వచ్చి మిమ్మల్ని టచ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు వాడేదో సో చెప్తా సో దట్ ఐ మీన్ టు సే ద టెక్నికల్ వర్డ్స్ దే సేయింగ్, రైట్? యూ నీడ్ టు నో దాట్. గట్ మై పాయింట్? దాట్స్ వై ఇది చాలునే మీకు ఆల్రెడీ వీళ్ళకి ఆల్రెడీ చెప్పాను నేను క్యూఎడ్స్ టీమ్కి. 1 సెకండ్ ఒకసారి క్యాండిడేట్ మిల్లు
The recording has stopped.
Sir,
మేడం.
hello.
సార్ నాకు డౌట్ ఉంది బట్ అఖిల్ ఫస్ట్ అడుగుతున్నారు.
చెప్పండి.
మీరు కంటిన్యూ చేయండి మేడం.
ఏంటి ఏం చేయాలి?
ఏం లేదు, నాది చిన్న డౌటే. బట్ ఈ జనరల్ గా బిల్డ్ అనే వర్డ్ నాకు ఐడియా ఉంది, కానీ గోల్డెన్ బిల్డ్, డైమండ్ బిల్డ్, బ్రాంజ్ బిల్డ్ అది ఐడియా లేదు. అది ఓన్లీ గోల్డెన్ ఉంటదా లేకపోతే మీరు అది జస్ట్ కామెడీగా చెప్పారా డైమండ్ బ్రాంజ్ అని?
కామెడీ అనేది ఓన్లీ డైమండ్, బట్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ కామెడీ టు ద లైక్ దెర్ ఇస్ సమ్ టైమ్స్ గోల్డెన్ సర్వర్స్ అంటారు, మాస్టర్ సర్వర్స్ అంటారు.
యా, గోల్డెన్ గేట్వే నేను విన్నాను, గోల్డెన్ బిల్డ్ వినలేదు.
గోల్డెన్ బిల్డ్
గోల్డెన్ బిల్డ్ మాత్రమే ఉంది డెవాప్స్ లో. డెవాప్స్ లో గోల్డెన్ బిల్డ్ అనే వర్డ్ మాత్రమే ఉంది రియల్ టైం.
1 సెకండ్ మేడం, మీరు జస్ట్ అలానే ఉండండి.
ఓకే,
పంపించా కొంచెం ఓపెన్ చేయను. లెట్ us try to send. Madam, just wait, and we are trying to upload all running notes to the LMS portal. Just wait.
యా ఓకే సార్.
Password. What, Shiva, is it useful today? Today discussion is